During World War II, many unexplained objects were seen flying over Germany. They were witnessed by the Allied pilots flying missions and were nicknamed Foo Fighters after a comic strip. Retired Commanding Officer Augsburger of the Army Corps No. 415 said the ships did not register on the radar, seemed to fly thousands of miles per hour, and when approached would explode like a rocket and disappear. Remember, this was during World War II in the 1940s. No one at first talked about these out of fear of ridicule. When they appeared in reports, the crafts are thought to be secret German weapons. 1937, 10 years before the famous Roswell flying saucer crash in New Mexico, there was a UFO crash in Germany. When Hitler and Himmler found out, the remains were taken to 2 locations where reverse engineering was performed on the debris. Both men became obsessed with exotic technology and flying discs, as they called them. The German Nazi physicists developed flying saucers and the Bell, which was a multi-dimensional motor that neutralized gravity and ripped a gash in the time-space continuum, creating incredible and horrific effects. It is this discovered technology that led to the Foo Fighters the Allied pilots saw as they flew missions over Germany. In 1944, as heavy bombing continued, the factories moved into bunkers underground that were dug out by Polish slave labor. The laborers actually worked in an assembly line for the German aircraft like the Nazi Kugelblitz. The Kugelblitz is the Foo Fighters the Allied pilots saw, and were the first flying saucers ever manufactured on Earth. The Bell, or Die Glocke, was engineered at a time Germany was being bombed constantly and they needed a vehicle that would take off vertically, without a runway. It was being created to be a wonder weapon. It was a ceramic bell-shaped craft that housed 2 cylinders that when hit by high voltage would spin in opposite directions. Much like a tornado that could lift the vehicle off the ground, it seemed to master gravity. It was also rumored that it could create wormholes that can be a passage for time travel. Wormholes are tunnels made up of space-time fabric that can connect very distant locations in a much short distance. Einstein proposed this theory in about 1915. The idea of time travel usually discusses it in a couple of ways. The grandfather effect: if you go back and kill your grandfather, your father is never born, so you are never born. The quantum physics effect, where there are every conceivable timeline exists in separate parallel worlds, and it is equal to the world we are in. Did you ever see the TV show Sliders? It is a show about a group of people that leap through a wormhole and come out as alternate realities. It is sort of the same principle. Quantum Leap was another show where a physicist leaps through history, but more on the same timeline, or reality. Wormholes occur naturally, they are connected at each end by black holes. Physicist John Wheeler said, "It's possible wormholes to appear spontaneously anywhere and to suddenly disappear," and he has a hypothesis called quantum foam hypothesis backing it up. In 1945, the Germans were losing, and it was time to get the engineers and scientists out of Germany before it fell. So did the Nazis do it? Did the Nazis' Bell create a wormhole and travel in time? There are so many questions about it. Where did the scientists and engineers go after the war? Many ended up in the USA, so where is technology? I am doing more research on where the technology might have ended up. I discovered a theory that Eva Braun and Hitler and scientists escaped before the war ended, that they made it to Argentina. More will be revealed, so stay tuned. Oh, an interesting fact, the Kecksburg, Pennsylvania UFO resembled the Bell. This was originally written in 2016. An update about the German scientists after World War II. The United States was not the only nation eyeing the scientists, the Soviet Union was also. Which was partially the reason for bringing them in. The scientists are credited for working on the Apollo space program and Operation Paperclip. Hitler had them working on a whole arsenal of nerve agents and a bubonic plague weapon. The Pentagon wanted those weapons for themselves. By the way, the bubonic plague still exists in the United States, but is mostly in the Southwest, which includes California, western Nevada, northern Arizona, northern New Mexico, Colorado, and southern Oregon. It is treatable today with antibiotics. Though they helped with the space program, truth is they were also responsible for the horrific treatment of the people during the Holocaust.